Okay, we are live and it is another Sunday night. It is January 5th. And today we are talking about the blueprint for success for 2025 and how to crush your goals. I'm going to go through some deep diving on what it's really going to take to actually get you to where you want to be by the end of this year. The problem is that 88% of people will fail or stop their New Year's resolutions by the third week in January. So think about that. We're 5 days into January. People have made their resolutions, and yet within 2.5 weeks, they're going to be like, to heck with it, because it can be really, really daunting to try to accomplish these big, giant, lofty goals that we set. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about what that looks like. You know, there's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, because it's so big and it's so daunting that you've got to be able to chunk things down and break them down into digestible pieces so that you feel like you're actually accomplishing something. If you looked at the end of the year, if you have your goal set by the end of the year, let's say you want to lose 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 pounds. I don't know what it is. But if you looked at the end of the year, let's say it's 50 pounds, you're someone who needs to lose weight. And at the end of the year, right now, you're going, oh, I gotta lose 50 pounds by the end of the year. It might be hard to look at that and go, oh, God, that's so far away. It's so long. How am I going to do that? And you start to second guess yourself. And then it becomes daunting. And then you don't really have the tools on how to actually do that. What does it look like? So I'm going to break that down for you today so that when you set your goal, whatever it is, maybe it's a relationship goal, maybe it's a physical goal like exercise or a nutrition goal, eating better. Maybe it's a weight loss goal. Maybe you want to start meditating. Maybe you want to start journaling. Maybe it's a relationship goal. I mean, it could be anything. So excuse me. I got a little tickle in my. Okay. So it could be any goal, but here's the thing, it's your goal, and your goals can seem very overwhelming to you. Your goals might seem easy to someone else, but someone else has goals. It's going to be tough for them. So it's all very relative. So I want you're going to want to get out a piece of paper, and you're probably going to want to take some notes. But if you don't want to do that, I dropped a link in the show notes to everything I'm going to talk about today. So if you want to get a copy of this blueprint to success for 2025, just hit the link in the show notes and go ahead and sign up, and I will send you this blueprint that we're going to talk about today. So, which means you can sit back and you can listen and you can easily digest the information, and then I can send that to you later. So the first thing is, a lot of people go into the new year motivated. We're motivated, we're inspired, we've just completely driven ourselves into the ground by the end of the year. And now that for the first of the year comes and we're feeling so terrible that we now are motivated to get our health on track, to accomplish certain things during the year. Maybe it's a financial goal that you didn't quite hit. And now you're like, dang it, I really could use that bonus, or I was really attempting to get to a certain salary, whatever it is. That you are motivated. You come into the beginning of the year and you're like, I'm ready. 2025 is mine. And the problem is that is emotional. And the emotion of motivation does not last very long for anything. I mean, think about if you have a goal, even just, I have a habit. Also, if you do something long enough, it's no longer a habit, it's a way of life. So I exercise 4 to 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And so that's no longer really a habit. It's part of my lifestyle. So think about that, is if you're doing something over and over and over again, it's your way of life. So, maybe you want to change what you're doing. And I'll talk about what I've done to change some things for the new year that are new to me, that require some discipline. But let's just talk about exercise because that's an easy example to go off of. You are not always motivated when you get up in the morning to go run off to the gym, especially if it's 10 degrees outside. It's cold. You have to get up out of your warm bed, leave your nice warm house, and go to the gym where it's noisy and the lights are clanging and you got to like go outside and bundle up. And it can really be a pain. It's not motivating at all. It's the anti of motivation. But we have discipline. And the discipline is what is going to make that change. So discipline is what's going to take you to the next level. Now, this is where these small little steps each and every day are going to help you get to where you want to be. And as I welcome you in, go ahead and please leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribing to this channel. If you like this material, please go ahead and subscribe, share it with somebody, and it just helps the channel grow. I have big, lofty goals for this channel for 2025. I am changing some things, and I am making sure that I am really stepping in and giving you the best quality content I possibly can. Hey, Steve, how are you? Nice to see you. Good. I'm glad the volume's okay. And P Squared says, Happy Betty year. Is that supposed to say? Yeah. My volume is intermittently choppy. Testing. Yeah. Is that you? I don't know. P Squared, I feel like, do you always have volume issues? Okay. Steve says the volume is fine. So I'm hoping that I'll just pull the mic up a little closer. Is that any better for you? Hopefully. Give me a thumbs up if that is better. And thanks for the feedback, you guys. I appreciate that very much. So as we go into the new year, before we start to get into the nitty gritty and what does this blueprint look like, I want you to think about this. And Steve knows volume. Yes, he does. Steve Lato. Go follow Steve's channel. He's got a great channel. It's quite entertaining. He's a lemon law attorney here in Michigan, and he's got some great videos. I always say that, you know, in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, I watch Steve. I know it's creepy, isn't it? But it's entertaining. They're short and they're sweet. And so, Steve, I'm watching you in the middle of the night. So. Okay. All right. Enough of that. All right. So in order to get to our goals, there's a, think about 1 degree. It takes 1 degree to turn a piece of ice into water. So at 32 degrees, you have ice. And at 33 degrees, it begins to melt. I mean, it's not this massive transition that turns ice into water. And then you put that water in a pot and you start to turn the heat up. And so the water starts to boil. And the water will get to about 211 degrees and it's still boiling water. But 1 more degree, at 212 degrees, you get steam. I mean, it's enough to power a steam engine. It's 1 degree that made such a powerful shift from water to steam that has power. So think about that when you are setting your goals, when there's things that you really want to do in life. Stop thinking of them as these big, gigantic, lofty things that you have to try to tackle all at once. It really just comes down to you chunking it down into small, digestible bits. And it's going to require discipline, not motivation. So action can trump your emotion, and it should. If you're falling in line with your emotions, it's not sustainable at all. So Steve says he puts the ladies to sleep. Yes, you do. P Square says, my life is a volume issue. No, never before, but I did just move to Highland. Okay. Yeah. I know Highland House is great. We should have a little reunion at Highland House. They have really good perch there. Would love to do that. Okay. We digress, getting me talking about food here. Okay, so think about that. 1 degree. If you set that goal, you have to chunk it down and you must take action and be disciplined about implementing that action because the motivation will not last. So motivation is all about your feelings and we've got to override the feelings and just take the action. So, um, if we really want longevity in what we're doing, this is where your mindset is going to come into play. Now, I'm going to give you three things that I think are pretty unique that most people don't think about when they think about setting these goals. So, when we start to look at how to make sure that we're staying disciplined, how to make sure we're staying consistent. Look at things like I call this an anti strategy. So, what are the things that you're doing every single day that you can stop doing? It's so easy for us to say I need to do this, I need to do that. But what do you have to stop doing? Maybe you're watching too much TV at night. Maybe you're watching too much Steve Leto at night. Is that possible? Um, No, for heaven's sake, no, that's not possible at all. Uh, so, but if we think about what are the things that we can stop doing? Do you come home from work? Do you just kick back? You crack open a beer, pour a glass of wine, whatever it is. You hop on the couch and you watch TV for a couple of hours. Um, that's not going to always work because now you've just taken 2 hours, and it doesn't mean you have to come home and dive into work again, right? But maybe it's something as simple as, um, maybe just connecting with your spouse, your family. Maybe the commitment is we're going to have dinner at the table. Like, people aren't eating dinner together these days as families. That's actually a really important, um, uh, piece of the pie, is that connecting with family, connecting with your relationships, and making sure that you are nurturing that. That's your foundation for so many things in life. So so think about how do you spend your time when you come home, and think about the anti strategy. Do you procrastinate? Do you overcommit yourself? Do you come home and then the neighbors need you and you're out running around and doing things, for other people instead of communicating with your own family? Maybe you're able to come home, if you don't have young kids. I come home and I mean I have to make dinner, but then when I sit down, I try to really limit that TV time. And I want to start this is one of my habits, my disciplines that I'm trying to get better at. I'm working at it. But I want to be journaling every night. I want to be really writing down, creating my success journal, looking at my day, what worked, what didn't, so that I can make sure that then tomorrow I set another 3 goals for the next day. What is it that I want to accomplish? And if I'm feeling really unmotivated, there's that word, then maybe I just put one thing. Maybe if it was a really crappy day, which I try not to have crappy days, I really say that um most of my days are varying shades of good. I'm pretty much the eternal optimist. So when I come home, I want to really limit my TV time. I'm trying to journal more. I'm doing more writing. I will come home and work a little bit more on my business, work on my social media, because I don't often have time to do that during the day. So even if I take 30 minutes, I feel like that is something that is setting me up for future success. Steve says there's no such thing as too much of him. Yes. Oh, you're a lot, Steve. I miss you. You got to get into the office. Um, the next strategy is to have a fail faster mindset. So fail faster. What does that mean? I know I fall victim to this. I am somebody that when I start something, I feel like I have to see it through. I have to finish it. We have been told that, if you start something, you have to finish it. And it's not always true. Sometimes we start things and we need to pay attention to if it's not serving us. And we need to be able to say, abort mission, and know that that was a failure. Like, fail at it faster and get rid of it. And honestly, failure is such a bad word in so many people's minds, but really it's just an opportunity to learn and to grow. So don't hang on to something like it's like a dog on a bone. Let it go. know that, hey, I learned from this. But the faster you're able to recognize something that didn't serve you, the better off you're going to be. And then the faster you're going to grow into your own future. And then, of course, the 1% rule. What is 1% that you can do each and every day that is going to actually fuel your life? And for me, I know that the whole concept of journaling is I I I love doing it, and then I get lazy. And there are so many excuses I can make. So many of us, we make excuses. We're lying to ourselves. I'm too tired. I think each and every one of us has 2 to 3 minutes every night before you go to bed to write something positive down in a journal that happened to you. Go to bed with something positive in your mind and then wake up to something positive in the morning. It is so powerful for your mindset, for your growth, for your ability to just see the world in such a better way, a more unique and optimistic way. Um, yes, I appreciate that. Thank you for validating the it's not failure. It just didn't serve you. It's just an opportunity to learn and grow. And listen, if people want to make fun of you or if they want to criticize you for doing something that failed, then they're not your people. You need the support of people who can understand, yeah, that didn't work. I can see how that didn't work and maybe help you troubleshoot that a little bit differently and a little bit better. I did say there were going to be 3 principles, but I want to add a 4th principle. And the 4th principle is mindset. And mindset is so key on all of this because with our mindset, we tend to use a lot of negative words. We tend to say things to ourselves that just, if somebody else said these things to us, we would be so offended and we would not have friends that would speak to us in the way that we often speak to ourselves. And people will, I'll see somebody drop a pencil or just something simple like that and just go, "Ah, I'm such a klutz. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Ugh, I can't believe I did that. That was so dumb. Oh my god." Can you guys feel me on that? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? The negative self-talk, the constant calling of names. What do you think your brain hears? And if you dropped a pencil in front of me and I looked at you and I was like, you're such an idiot. Would you be my friend? You would be so appalled that I would even say that to you. I could never even say that to anybody. I'm like, just a pencil. What are you getting so upset about? Like it's no big deal. So stop making it a big deal to yourself. It's like we want to we do things like that and we criticize ourselves before someone else can criticize us. So these are your own traumas. It's your own shit that you brought into today because other people have criticized you for smaller things. And so you're trying to, that's your way of protecting yourself. Catch yourself when you're doing that. Turn that into something positive because the more negativity your brain feels and hears, the less opportunity it's going to want to move you forward. I had a patient the other day say to me, she, a couple years ago, her story, she made a decision. She was going to stop eating sugar. She was going to start exercising. So she went out, she started walking a couple times a day. She committed to it. She was disciplined. She is out there. It doesn't matter how cold or how hot it is. She's out and she's walking the dogs every single day. So that keeps her moving. Then she decided to eliminate sugar and she lost about 50 or 60 pounds. It was significant. And she was feeling great. She was looking really good. She had tons of energy. And she started to actually put the weight back on. And when I saw her the other day, she had said to me, she said, I feel like I'm being punished. I feel like my body's failing me and I'm being punished. And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, it doesn't matter what I do. I just keep putting the weight back on. And there's that whole, like, doesn't matter what I do. What do you need to stop doing? Sometimes it's not what you're doing. It's what do you need to stop doing? And then I said, well, and I didn't get into mindset with her at that point. Cause sometimes you have to know the time and place to go into those conversations. But then, so she said she went back to Weight Watchers and she was working with one of their dietitians. And I have to be honest, Weight Watchers dietitians don't impress me at all. I'm sorry if there are any Watchers dietitians on this video, but there are no standards for dietitians, and dietitians historically do nothing but give you bad nutritional advice. It's based on old, antiquated data, and it actually doesn't help move the needle of health forward. So she's working with the dietitian, and the dietitian tells her she needs to be having 70 grams of protein a day. At which point I told her, I said, that's about half of what you should be having. So getting more protein forward, again, that's a whole different video, but becoming more protein forward is what will help your body overall. So that was the first thing. You need to double up on your protein. But then she said, well, I'm eating that Kashi protein cereal every day. And I was like, I go, oh my God. Like, this is where marketing comes into play. And again, it's no fault of her own. She was told to eat protein. And so she saw a box of cereal that said high protein. She was not taught how to read a label. She was not taught what to look for. She wasn't taught how to look at the macros for that. How many carbohydrates? I looked it up and there was like 38 carbohydrates, 39 carbohydrates, something like that in one serving, which is 1/4 cup. Now you tell me how many people are only having one serving of cereal, right? So you got to figure it's 2 to 3 times that. So you're breaking the bank on your carbs right straight away. And that's not going to help with weight loss. Plus all the grains and the sugars that were in there, highly, highly inflammatory. So I'm working with her. And this is why I do what I do, because I have to help people navigate around these just ridiculous old antiquated principles that are being taught by these big companies that make a lot of money, and you're going to get the truth from me. So, hey, Ken, nice to see you in here, my friend. By the way, you're overdue for an adjustment. So I hope to see you someday soon. Okay. So our out of the box ideas are your anti-goal strategy. So what are you doing that you just need to stop doing? You procrastination, watching TV, not eating with the family. Well, figure out what you are doing that you can stop doing. So that's first of all. Second of all, fail faster. Recognize when something's not serving you faster and abort mission. The 1% rule. It doesn't have to be giant and lofty. It's just 1%. And those tiny, tiny little steps each and every day add up to massive changes and transformations in a year. And just think what you will learn from that. And then the fourth strategy is your mindset. What are you saying to yourself? Start speaking goodness and kindness into yourself. Let your brain hear good things from you. Let your brain hear positivity and growth and inspiration. And that alone will change your whole neurology. Your body, when you speak like that, it goes into a stress mode. It can go into fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, it's not going to change. All it wants to do is run from a saber-toothed tiger and save your life. It's not going to change. So if you want true change in your life, you've got to make sure that you are speaking kindness into yourself. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions below. And again, if you like what we're talking about today, please go ahead and subscribe and share this with somebody. Hey, Prepper 101, I appreciate you being here. Nice to see you, my friend. Okay, I'm going to go into 3 practices that you can also do for 2025. So we went into our out of the box ideas, and now we're going to go into 3 practices that are going to help you be able to implement those and stay on track for success. Now, these next 3 things, this is important for building a strong foundation. Most of us are trying to build our buildings on sand. And I did a TED Talk a couple of years ago. You can look up Dr. Paula Ruffin, TEDx Detroit. Maybe I can find that here while we're talking. And I can drop the link Often action. Oh, let's see. There we go. And so I talked about this. This was the story of my mom and the foundation and of our foundation of health and how she raised us and what she had uh, what she taught us growing up and how that changed the trajectory of our life, but that she that was um, that was a foundation for success and for our lives. And to create healthy kids was the equivalent of creating a healthy next generation. That was her legacy. So I just dropped that link in there. So these are your foundational principles. So first of all, having clarity. We oftentimes are like, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, well, what does that mean? Like, first of all, why? If you don't know why, then it's going to be very difficult for you to connect with why you're setting that goal. You have to have a strong why. What does it mean? If you're like, okay, I'm going to train for something and I need to lose this 10 pounds so that I can XYZ. Um, and I'm using weight because it just seems to be one of the most common, weight, losing weight and strength training seems to be the most common New Year's resolution. So, let's say you are somebody who doesn't exercise and you want to exercise so you can become healthier because you want to see your kids grow up. You want to be there for your grandkids. That's a good why. That's a really strong why. So you have to have clarity. Make sure that these goals, make sure they're realistic. Make sure you can measure them and they have meaning to you. If it's somebody else's goal, if somebody else told you you should do this because it's good for you, but you're not bought into it, it's it's going to be very difficult for you to stick with that. Motivation, consistency, none of that. If your heart isn't into that, if you don't have a connection, a true emotional connection to it, you're not going to stick with it. So make sure it means something to you, and that you can measure it. What is it? If you're going to go to the gym every day and you want to lose 10, 20, 30 pounds, have them do a body composition test when you first start. Hire a trainer. Do that body composition test like once a month, and so you can start to measure things. Maybe take measurements, of your waist circumference, your shoulders, your arms, to see what are you actually doing. A body composition test will allow you to see if you've gained muscle and lost fat. So those are very measurable differences. If it's something financial, make sure you're looking at your stats, checking your bottom line. If it's just a relationship issue, not so much measurable, but boy, you'll feel the joy in your heart if there's more love and connection in your relationships, whether it's with your partner or your kids. So sometimes that measuring stick just needs to be what emotion it drives for you. Um, so clarity, that's the first one. The next thing is reverse engineer your success. So if we want to reverse engineer, what does that mean? So set the goal and set the time on the goal. Is it 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years? This is why people set out to do 6 months, 1 year, 3 year and 5 year, 10-year goals, lifetime goals, right? Legacy goals people will even do. What do they want to leave for the next generation? Some people build into their current lives what they want to leave for the next generation. I'm just trying to keep up with my own life. So I'm just trying to move and groove for this life right now. But maybe I'll get there. But reverse engineering. So let's say, we'll use this channel. So right now I have 1,343 subscribers. So by the end of the year, so it's January. So I would like to have 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So that's a little more than double where I currently am. And I think I can do it. I did 1,000 my first year. The second year was a little slower to grow, but I also wasn't doing the things that I was doing within the first year. So I'm going back to some more consistent, disciplined habits. that helped me grow the channel to begin with. And then, just bringing valuable content that people want to consume and share. And and I have different ways of getting there, right? So the subscribers are one thing, but then yes, I want to monetize. So I have to look at some other of the analytics. Um, Sorry, my air fryer just went off. So I have to look at some of the other analytics and set some goals around that. So that's growing this channel. I have goals for my business, financial goals. So what I'll do is I set the number at the end of the year and I break that down into monthly. But then I have different services. So I have chiropractic, I have nutrition, I have my cold laser, I have coaching, nutrition coaching, and business coaching. So I have 5 different ways that I can actually earn potential income, and including like some membership groups. So that's actually 6 different ways because I just created the membership group. So, and I'll roll that out and tell you about enough that a little bit later. But either way, so now I have 6 ways that I can earn income. So now what I do is I go, okay, how much can I earn off of chiropractic, nutrition? I break each one down. How many laser packages do I want to sell in a month, a week, a year? How many chiropractic patients do I want to see? How many nutrition patients do I want? How many coaching clients do I want? How many people do I want in my private group? So, that was, I want to have 100 people in my private group in the next 6 months. So, if you want to join my private group, I think it's going to be around $37 a month. So um, super on the cheap, very doable. We'll be doing like really, it'll be like VIP nutrition coaching, hands-on menu planning, lifestyle. There'll be some cool stuff going on in there. So it'll kind of be like the channel, only like on steroids. So if you're interested in joining that, you can also go down. There's a link below under Detox with the Doc. You can click that and sign up for that, and I can get you in touch. I'll get in touch with you and let you know. P Square says, I do enough your shorts from the office. I don't know. You have to clarify that, dear. I don't know what is something about my shorts. Okay. Okay. So reverse engineer that. So whatever your goal is, and let's say it's a relationship goal. The goal can be, you want to have 2 date nights, 4 date nights. Is again, if you have kids, like making sure you're reconnecting. Maybe you want to take 4 vacations. You can plan and put goals around the vacation. So you plan those things in, with your spouse, with yourself, with your partner. And so you can start to see, you can set that big goal, but then again, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? And now you just break it down into those bite-sized chunks. So now what you need, now you know what you need to do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis. And then you can track statistically what you've done. So I love reverse engineering. It breaks everything down to it's almost crazy when you start to break things down. Like if you take, okay, I want to make $1 million. Let's just say you did that, and you started to break it down in all the different ways you can make $1 million with whatever your expertise is. It's like, that doesn't seem very difficult at all. But you got to have the action, and you got to have the foundation, and you got to have the discipline around that. So reverse engineering, super, super powerful because it allows you to see the roadmap and be able to get there faster. So the power of your environment, your physical, your mental space. So we just talked about the things you say to yourself. So powerful. Again, I can't say enough about mindset. I'm going to be doing some other videos on mindset, and because it is so powerful. It is what will help anyone and everyone get to where they want to go. Your health goals will always come back to what is your mindset. Again, you can't be saying to yourself, my body's failing me. I feel like I'm being punished. Your body is not going to respond to you if you're telling it that. So I want everybody to be healthier and to be mobile and to be flexible and have longevity and not be living with chronic diseases for most of their lives. And the only way to do that is through these principles that we're talking about. So so the power of your environment. So that's your mental environment. Your physical environment is things like how cluttered are things around your house? How cluttered is your desk? How cluttered is the closet? Like, I don't even want to show you that closet at the end of the hall there that I've been threatening to get to and clear out. But over the holidays, so Christmas time came. And so it was Christmas Day, and after the day after Christmas, I usually take Christmas down, but I worked the day after Christmas. So the day after Christmas, so the 26th, 7th, I I took all the Chris. So actually, the day after Christmas in the office, I took everything down, and then Friday I was home all day and I took everything down. I took the outside stuff up, and it was up in my attic and down in the basement at the office by the weekend. It was so awesome. And then what it allows me to do at home and at my office, I was actually able to, like, I pull the stuff, pull the couches away, pull the benches away, clean the baseboards, clean the windows, like get deep into the cracks and crevices of cleaning. And I rearranged the furniture at my house and at the office, and it just gave this fresh new perspective. So it's like a brand new space that I get to work in, and it really freed up my mind. I cleaned out my room, I cleaned my closet, I cleaned out a spare bedroom. No, I didn't get to the closet at the end of the hall. I'm getting there, you guys. Okay, get off my case. Um, it's coming though, right? Hey, the door's closed. I can't see anything. Anything that was visible got cleaned like crazy. But so start thinking about that. Is your physical environment very much affects your mental environment. So it's really important to make sure that you're looking around going, you know what? I got that basket of stuff, so I have a basket of, just using me as an example again, I had a basket of like magazines and papers and research articles and mail. And it was sitting in my spare room, and I pulled that out, and it's now sitting over by my couch. So when I'm done today, I've been actually working all day. So I'm like, I'm going to turn my brain off, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put on some kind of comedy, funny show, and I'm going to sift through that. And because that doesn't take any mind, power, I can just simply sift through it. It'll feel good to get it cleaned up. And I know it's moving me forward. So you don't always have to be thinking. It doesn't always have to be having your brain on. You can turn your brain off and still be relatively productive. Again, that's just a conversation too with a loved one, your kids, something like that. P Squared says, "Oh, my video is doing cold laser and adjustments." Yes. I'm glad you're seeing them, and just trying to promote the cold laser and the adjustments a little bit more. And bring it, I really am working on the message of health and wellness beyond your insurance benefits, because insurance is, it's like being handcuffed to the insurance company. They're not fun to deal with. You have to wait to get paid, and a lot of people want to use their insurance, and I don't blame them. But I also got to a point where I can no longer keep my doors open. It's very difficult. You make a third of the money that you should be making because they decide what they want to pay you. You're lucky if you get paid $36 a visit. And with everything else, with all the expenses going up, overhead, and your utilities and gas, like everything has gone up, but yet the amount of money that the insurance companies pay you has not. So it's not gone up commensurate to the cost of living. And again, that's, so I can see less people and charge full price. And but then a lot of people get frustrated because they want to use their insurance. So like I say, I don't blame them, but they have to do what's right for their family. I have to do what's right for my family. Ken says, some of the scoop you're talking about, it is going to be like Napoleon Hill's mastermind group. For my group, And that I would take that if that's what you're talking about, my private group. Um, what a great uh, compliment. I will take that if that's what you're talking about. So, hi US or us US. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Tuning in from Facebook. I appreciate you being here. Yeah. So the group I'm putting together, similar. Is it similar to Napoleon Hill's mastermind group? I am not. I mean, I'm familiar with Napoleon Hill. I don't know about his mastermind group, but it's if I can glean what that is. So my group is going to focus on lifestyle, nutrition, mindset, pretty much like the things we're talking about today. And how do you really dive deep and implement that? And there will be, I want you to be accountable for things. I want to be your accountability partner, which is another thing on one of my lists, is making sure you're having somebody that can help you with your accountability. And when we create a group and a community around this, it's what breeds success. When you're in a group, so Napoleon Hill's mastermind group, you're in a group of like-minded people, like really high level thinking people. And so I don't need a million people in my group. I don't need a million people on my YouTube channel, but my goal would be to have a very engaged group of people. If I have a million people and only a tiny percentage are engaged, that's not, I want the message of what I'm creating and the value that I'm creating. I want that to really, land really nicely for people. Um, so yeah, it'll be a lot of that. And it'll be a really fun, engaging environment, and it'll be educational. And we'll do some cool stuff in there. So yes, so I will make sure that, and if you should be getting my emails. If you're not getting the emails, let me know and check your spam. Because I've been sending out detox with the doc. And if you wanted to do it, you still have time to get into it. You can hit the link in the show notes, and I will make sure that I get with you. But I just sent another email out today. You should have gotten it. So let me know and check your spam. And P squared, I feel like you're on my email list, but if not, text me your email address and I'll add you to the list. So if you want to get my emails and get kept up to date on all of that stuff, I'd be happy to put you in the group. P squared says, oh my gosh, that's all I've been doing is purging stuff for days. Doesn't it feel amazing? It's so cathartic. It's like a weight off of your mind. Then you come home. How much better is it to come home? Right? You come home and you're like, ah. And of course, I clean everything, right? And then that inspires my daughter to clean, which is really awesome. But what she does, she goes in her room and she cleans her room. And by clean her room, she moves everything out of her room and into the kitchen and into the laundry room. And then I come home and I'm like, ah! Yeah. So, it's just stuff we're working on there. Ken says, yes, that is exactly what you're describing right now, of the mastermind group of people getting together and sharing a common interest. Yeah, for sure. And it's all set on growth. Right. So just your level, your personal growth, how much, what do you need? And I have things that I'll be building into the group. And if there's a demand for certain things, then I'll create it. Like I want everybody to be, to, like I say, to get the value that you want. So it's going to build and grow over time. So yeah. Let's see. So, okay. So yes, you are on my email list, both of you guys. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. I appreciate that. Great. So, let me see if there's anything else in my notes. Do you guys have any questions? Drop them below. Like what do you have challenges with, that you feel like you need some help with? And one of the last things, so here's another thing that I started to touch on, this is the accountability system. And that's, I think, where we'll go ahead and we'll land on this one, is that with accountability, that's why I'm putting the community together. That's why I'm putting this group together, so that you have accountability of like-minded people. You have a community of people that you can share with, that understand what you're going through. I have, when I talk to my friends, pretty much all of my friends are entrepreneurs. Um, and many of them that I communicate with on a daily basis are chiropractors. So we are women chiropractors. We are women business owners who are chiropractors. The reason I'm repeating that is because we can't talk to just anybody about what we go through. We really need our group of women business owners, chiropractors, because we share a whole very specific list of challenges and issues and problems and how do we balance this and that. And the only people that we really can talk to who will understand what we're going through are other women chiropractor business owners. Now, we can always have conversations with other entrepreneurs and business owners on a different level. We're not talking about, we can't talk about the problems we have in chiropractic, but we can talk about the business side of things. So there's still that whole, when you have to be with like-minded people to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And that's what the group is going to help you do. And so it is really going to be lifestyle and wellness based. We'll be diving into I don't want to say the insanity of the world, but I'm gonna right the ship for you guys. It's going to be the safe place to be able to ask questions that you can't ask on social media, that I can't really talk about on this channel. I want to stay. I want to stay here. I don't want to get shut down. And sadly, we're still getting shut down for talking about certain things. So we'll be able to have a safe space inside that group to have those conversations. So P Squared says, I'm challenged staying the more organic or natural source. I'm just looking into the apothecary journey. Staying the course. Oh, got it. Okay. So P Squared, this is perfect because I will always say too, it's not going to be perfect. So that's okay. It's totally okay. So instead of let's flip the script. Instead of saying I'm challenged, staying the course with natural and organic, how about it's I appreciate being on the course of natural and organic. Um, I I am walking the path that allows me to be more natural and organic. So take that and spin it to a positive statement so that again, now you look at the positive side, what you've been able to accomplish by being on that path, rather than that statement looks at the negative, what you're not accomplishing within that realm. But it sounds to me like you're actually doing something. So don't state it to a negative, state it to a positive. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And so you can start to see, like, when you start to say things like that to yourself, you're like, oh, you know what? That's more of the negative to that. Let me reframe it to the positive. So, oh, that's great, Ken. Okay, wonderful. I appreciate that. So Ken, you can be one of my members then too. And I know P Squared. I'll get P Squared in there too. Yeah, for sure. And that's why too. That's why the mindset piece of this is going to be so important when we go into that. And there's an exercise that I've done that I've had people do where you write down, you just give you like 3 minutes and you just write statements about who you are, what you like to do, what you want to accomplish, who you think you are, what you have challenges with. And so then we look at that, or what crap do you deal with? Like, we just put all of that down, and then we take every one of those statements and you write a new statement to the positive of that statement. It is so powerful. And then you read that statement every single day and you start to realize, wow, I really am badass. Like, wow, I can't believe that this is what I've done. This is what I've accomplished. This is how I operate. So write down all your junk, but then take it and write a new sentence to the positive. And then take that page, rip it out of your journal, crumble it up, and throw it in the fire. and then just read that statement of positive things about yourself every single day. I promise you it will be life-changing. Um, my husband needs that more than me, Mr. Cynic. Yes, and which means that you need it also just as much so that you can deal with the cynic, right? Well, and that's where, the accountability, having this accountability system, having the community, that support group is what breeds success. But also, we get to celebrate progress together. We get to track our progress. We get to celebrate each other's wins. And that's what I love. I love seeing people succeed. And when you put that into a group together and you've got a whole bunch of cheerleaders cheering for you and the things you've accomplished, how cool is that, right? I mean, we'll talk about vision boarding, habit trackers. There's so many different ways that we can show that we're winning on the micro scale. I don't want it to be a group of just like uh, gigantic things. I mean, that'll be good too, but there'll be a time and a place for that. But let's just say, hey, did everybody drink at least a gallon of water today? I don't know. That's a win, right? But then also, what it will help you do is become more strategic about your goals. And if we need to shift and revisit and revise our goals, we have a group to do so. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you're like, this isn't quite working, and I don't really know how to revise it. I don't really know like how I should rewrite this. I'm not exactly sure. That's what the group will help you do. Our community is the community that's going to help you be your best. So I'm super excited about it, and I hope you are too as you're listening to this. So because I want all of us to go into this year being super successful. I started this out, if you weren't here at the beginning, saying that 88% of people will fail their resolutions, their New Year's resolutions, by the third week in January. Uh, it's January 5th, so we have two and a half more weeks for everyone to fail. So I don't want you to be on that boat. I want you to be on my boat, my train, or my freight train that's getting the 1 degree with the steam engine, right? So I'll take it back to that one. So, let's succeed together and figure out, like, let's stop failing for the wrong reasons, right? We're people fail their resolutions for the wrong reasons because number one, they don't have a strategy. Number two, we can get lazy. I'll admit I can get lazy about some things, but I have to remind myself, no, you've got to maintain that discipline. You have to keep doing that thing. So that's what we're here, is to keep you accountable and to keep you, pump some inspiration and motivation into you every now and then so you can get back to your discipline. So all right, you guys, any questions? You want to drop any questions down in that chat? Let me know. If you are here watching that replay, go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you are here live, I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate your insight, your input, and and your engagement and your support. My gosh, like, I couldn't do this without you. I'd be sitting here talking to no one. So thank you so much for being here. I've had this channel now for 2 years, since late October 2022. So just over 2 years. So I need to breathe life back into it, meaning it's been consistent and it's been great. But I have to develop a discipline around this channel if I really want it to grow and expand like I want it to. So I appreciate all of you being here with me. And I guess we'll see you on the next one. What's today? Sunday. Tomorrow's Reset Monday. You'll want to tune into that one. And then next Thursday is Chiropractic is Sexy. We got new changes coming for Chiropractic is Sexy too. Dr. Erica and I will be meeting on Friday, brainstorming and having some power time so we can really, we're going to just blow that channel up. We're super excited about it. So, so you can talk to yourself. You don't answer. Yeah, exactly. Right. if I'm sitting here answering myself, we're in big trouble. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. My brain has been working since about 11 o'clock today. So let's see, that's about 8 straight hours. Um, it's been super accomplished day on this beautiful Sunday. And now I'm going to go turn my brain off and watch some comedy. So, all right. Love you all so much. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. And we shall see you soon. Don't forget to hit those links and sign up for the information down in the show notes. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Love y'all so much. Bye bye.